Clarence don't put Beano in his beans, and that's the reason he's had gas for a week. I've told him that several times. He just looks at me and grins. Well, good morning, folks. It's Richard Gene the Fishing Machine here. Today we're going to be fishing for largemouth. A little bit different than what we've been doing when it comes to a trick worm. Now this is a pink trick worm. I'm going to start off with it. The reason is I have a lot of success in the fall with pink in my thigh lead. Those two colors right there are probably my favorite in the fall. One reason is the water is ultra clear and I can see this worm. I can visually see it. I'm going to be fishing real shallow. I'm going to be fishing eelgrass, and by the looks of it, 6 to 8 inches below the surface is where the grass is. Now, what's happening? What's going to be happening today? I can tell you, there's holes in the eelgrass, and they're just small holes. These fish will sink down in it. When a school of shad comes up over the top of them, they'll get them a bite. And it's that simple. It really is. Now, I'm using a 6-foot Gander Mountain Tournament Series rod and a Fago reel right here, Daiwa Fago 2500 size. And I'm using a 12-pound test fluorocarbon leader with a 2-aught Gamakatsu EWG. And as far as braid, I'm using 10-pound test braid. That's right. In this heavy grass, milfoil hydrilla, you can't get by with this, but eelgrass you can. The reason why I like this light braid is because I can get a long cast. Very important. These fish are super spooky. We're talking about thin water. All right, let's make us a cast with this bait right here, and I'll show you. I'm letting it, now right now it's on top of the eelgrass. I'm just going to jerk and stop it. Jerk and stop it. Now on the fall, like I said, 90% of your strikes is going to happen on the fall when you're working this bait this way. On the fall. So that's really all they are to it. And a strike, a lot of times it can be violent or it could be very subtle. It just depends on the mood of the fish. Right now, I've seen a couple come up and get some shad. So I know they're here on this little flat. The bass are here. And this is how we're going to catch them. There's one. There we go. Let me catch up to him. This is a good one right here. This is a good bass. That's a little bit better. That's what we're talking about right here. Woo! Look at there, look at there. Come here. Trying to get up under the boat. Yeah, I'm excited. I am very excited. That fish eat that I'm talking about. Look at there, look at that. Quit, stop it. You're a mean baby. You don't do that. Golly, I can't tell y'all how strong. You quit. I don't know why I don't net him. I got a net right here. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm seeing in here. I haven't been catching, but we're going to catch them. Let's get him loose here. Nice fish right there. See how fat and healthy that fish is, folks. How gutted. They ain't nothing like this. Let's let him go. There ain't a sport on earth like the sport of fishing. All right, folks, let's go ahead and rig this up. This is just a Zoom trick worm. fantastic bait. This is an old bait. It's been around a long time. Now I rig mine sideways like this. In other words, my hook is in line with the seam of the worm. Let's get that a little bit straighter. There we go. Right where the worm is put together. That'll keep it straight and in line. See how straight that is? Now all I'm going to be doing, let me make a little short cast right here, is throwing it over the eelgrass and working it erratically like that, and then letting it fall. That fall 90% of the time is what's going to make the strike happen. That's what's going to provoke the strike. Just real quick, and then just let it fall. Usually I'll work it a lot slower, but right now these fish are very, very active. They're real active. So, well, let's just catch them. Whoa! There's a fish. Got him. As soon as that bait hit, folks, that little fish was all over it. Golly, he's cutting the rug right there. That cast was right on top of his head, evidently. Come on in here. Golly, what a chunky bass. He threw my trick worm off. But that is a pretty healthy little fish. Now, there went one right there, hit right in front of us. But what I'm trying to do, I mean, that's a good bass. There ain't no doubt about it. A lot of fun, but there's some big ones in here. I'm doing my best. I mean, some big ones. Oh, I know I seen one right here that was probably around 5 pounds. I would love to catch him up in this shallow stuff like this. It'd be a lot of fun. I've seen a couple of 3-pounders, but so far I haven't been lucky enough to get one to bite, but I'm going to work with him. Let's let him go right there. Well, okay. There he goes. They ain't nothing like this. Now, I love it when you find these fish. What's going on, of course, like I told you, there's a lot of shad in here, and they're about that long. They're not very big. But I know one thing. These things right here are underrated. They're underrated. Now I can see this pink, and I have my thigh lead in here too, which is really a gaudy looking color, but it don't make any difference. Don't make a bit of difference. The main thing is to visually be able to keep in contact with that bait. A lot of times you'll just see it disappear and feel a boom, and then see it disappear, and that's just, to me, that's exciting. See these little tracks right here? This is where boats has been going through. That's the kind of stuff they'll lay in. See, this water is real shallow. They'll lay in those, and some shad will come through here, and boy, they will just annihilate them. And there's all kinds of holes out here in this grass, and they'll even get in the grass. I mean, it's amazing what a bass will do and where they'll be. They're going to feed where they have to, and they'll figure out some way to do it, even in ultra thin water like this. And that's what's amazing to me.
I know it's horrible. It used to not be like this for me at the house. I used to row the roost. I used to be a rooster. But now that I ain't got no tail feathers left much, she hollers at me, screams at me, tells me what to do. She tells me what to do. They ain't no woman gonna tell me, okay, what to do.
There he is, folks. That's a pretty good fish right here. My. Another good one. Up super shallow. I mean shallow. It's on up in the day and this pink is still working. But I may put a black one on. Change colors just a little bit and fish the bait a little bit slower. Now I was fishing this bait pretty slow when I got bit right here, because the fish are not near as active, but they're still there. There's a good fish right there. That is a good fish. So I've caught 2 of them good ones I seen up in here. But there's some bigger than that. But that is a beautiful fish. I'm going to show you the colors on this fish. I tell you what, folks, the colors on this fish is beautiful. Look how dark that bass is. He's been up here a while. He's already getting gutted a little bit. These fish is feeding on shad. Fishing is a sport second to none. Let's catch another. Let's let that pretty girl go. Oh, quit. Biting the far out of me. You wanting loose, ain't you? And there she goes. I just don't know what to think about that. Now, I caught that fish right in there, I believe. See how shallow that is, folks? So the fish are still here, even though the sun's really come out. We just need to fish a little bit slower. So really what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go to a black one right here, and I'm going to fish it weightless just like I've been doing, except for I've split the tail right here, which I've shown before. I'm going to fish it slower and we're going to catch some more fish. That's just all they are to it. These fish is ultra shallow. And I love to catch bass when they're shallow. They just seem to fight a lot harder. Now in this water that says shallow, folks, let me mention this. I use a trolling motor just as less as I possibly can. You talking about spooking some fish and spooking them quick. That's what'll happen. You'll end up, if you use the trolling motor a whole lot, just when you need to, and then on low is what I do. But if you use it a whole lot in this shallow water like this, you can forget about it. Those fish, they'll run off. It's an unnatural sound in their environment, and it really echoes in this shallow water. I want y'all to look. That's the kind of versatile catches right there. You could mount that one on a matchbox. Okay. That is a little bidian. Little old bidian I'm talking about. Slow. Right now I'm having to fish slow. The sun's out, but these fish are still in here. They haven't moved. There's no need for them to. There's plenty of bait in here. And they have plenty of vegetation where they can shade their eyes from the sun and dart out and grab an easy prey item. So we're sneaking up on them. Look at that gar right there, folks. Can y'all see him? Let's see if he'll snap at this worm. Look, he stuck his old nose out of the... Let's see if he'll... Look at him. Ain't that odd? Let's see. No, he don't want to snap in it. He's content just laying there. I'm going to go on out here on the end of this grass line and really fish slow right here. There's a few fish relating to this mat right here in front of us. There's one. And I got one of them. He liked to snuck by me. Not a bad fish at all right here. Looky here, looky here, looky here. That's a chunk. Let's flip him in. That's a fat bass. Golly, boom. Looky there, what a fat fish. I was looking at that mat, then I turned my, there went a fish right there. Hit a shad. I was looking at that doggone mat and turned my head, and just as soon as I turned my head, I felt that. No doubt about it. Let's let him go. Man, what a healthy fish. Well, folks, it's time to go home and eat some possum tail, grease gravy, and boiled pig snout, and a big glass of buttermilk. There's nothing like that. That will put hair on your back. Hey, I want to say thank y'all very much for spending a few minutes out here with me. This sport is second to none. There's no doubt about it. Peace, tranquility out here on God's creation. It was made for us to enjoy, folks. I want to say thank y'all very much for all the great comments, everything y'all do for this channel. Hey. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good for you. Fishing is a sport second to none.